Hey, good afternoon, my sisters and brothers in Christ. Welcome to another of our segments, Coffee with Kevin. Today we're going to focus on Mark's Gospel. This is our last episode of Mark's Gospel, chapter 6, and it deals with primarily of Jesus feeding the 5,000 and him walking on the water. And so it was, to me, it was an exciting lesson. It dealt really not necessarily with the basic food that we think of and him feeding the 5,000, but it really was an invitation to follow Jesus from a spiritual perspective. But Jesus understands the nature of needing to take care of basic needs: food, water, shelter, clothing, those type of deals, and that's what he does. So in this, he kind of sets the stage for us. We titled this Our Lesson in Faith because that's what he was doing, giving his apostles, giving us a lesson in faith. And so it says here when we pick up the story that the 12, the apostles, and that's whenever we see the word the 12 or the apostles, it's those 12 guys that he chose to come along and do ministry with. And so it says in verse 30 of chapter 6, the apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all they had done and taught. And so we get this from from the beginning of the chapter, that Jesus was sending them out 2 by 2 on a missionary journey to change the world. He sends us out in that way too, not necessarily 2 by 2, but to change the world. So they come back, they report to him all that he was doing. And then what's kind of strange about this, and I still don't get totally why Mark writes this piece in, he begins to talk about people crowding around Jesus and all that took place when they crowded around him. Even though the people were crowding, Jesus says this: hey, let's get away and get some time and get some alone time. This is what he said in verse 32. So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. Even though people were coming, Jesus suggested, get away to a solitary place. It reminds us that all of us at times need to get away. That's one of our lessons in faith. Then he continues, it says, but many who saw them recognized them and ran ahead of them on foot, and wherever they landed, the people were there. Then it says that Jesus had compassion on them, and he helped them in spite of all of these people coming, all of these people them trying to get away, all of these people coming. Jesus had compassion on them, and he began to heal them. Because it says that they were like a sheep without a shepherd. So it continues on that he feeds them. He feeds more than 5,000 people. Some people say it was 15,000 if you count women and children. And then what takes place is this: Jesus goes into another region, and the people see him again, and they begin to bring all of the sick to them. And again, Jesus has compassion on them. His lesson for us in this whole deal is that, hey, we may not be able to heal people today in the same way that Jesus did, but we still have the power of God at our disposal. So use the power of God at your disposal, at our disposal, to encourage people, to lift people up, to invite people to come into the kingdom. These lessons in faith that we have is that those of us who follow Jesus, those of us who believe in Jesus, those of us who trust in Jesus, has a responsibility to go out and to share the good news of the gospel with those around us. That is our lesson in faith. Next week, we'll pick it up and we'll hear from the gospel according to John, and John's version of this same story of feeding the 5,000. And so we'll get some new insight, I believe, from the gospel according to John. But see you next time. Thanks for being here. Peace.